do.
Let's huddle up, boys.
It's time to huddle up, boys.
Now we go.
Now we go.
Kev, who we got on today?
Man, we got a stud with us today, baby. Chiefs Hall of Famer. The Nigerian Nightmare, baby.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
Christian Okoye.
There he is.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, man.
Hey, thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You got a lot of stuff going on right now. We were just talking about that.
Yes,
So
yes.
tell us what's going on in the life of Christian Okoye
Oh,
right
man,
now.
I'm just running around. As you know, I'm the president and founder of the California Sports Hall of Fame. So that's keeping me busy. And my foundation, the Christian Okoye Foundation, which I started in 1990, has been going on since then, working with underprivileged kids. I have it in California, Kansas City, and Nigeria, of course. Wow. I came from Nigeria, so somebody brought me out of Nigeria. And I'm trying to do the same for a bunch of kids out there who want to come out or make something of themselves.
Love it.
So we raise money here in Kansas City. I have a program called Roast, Okoye Celebrity Roast. So I pick out one of my teammates or one of the celebrities in Kansas City. We roast them.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That just happened yesterday, and we did Duran Cherry.
He got roasted.
Oh, man.
Well, the thing is that Duran, he didn't want to be roasted. He wants to be honored. So we honored him, and then he got that from Bobby Bell. Yep. When we did Bobby Bell 2 years ago. Bobby says, "Don't roast me. If you're talking about honor, yeah, that's cool." So
you took it easy on him then.
Yeah. Well, Duran, if you know Duran, you don't have anything bad to say about him.
Right.
He's just a nice guy. Yep. He's well accomplished. His business, he's got his Budweiser, distributorship over here.
Yep.
And his foundation, which has been going on for 34 years, and also his career. Yep. If you don't know it, Duran Cherry came to Kansas City as a punter. He was a punter.
As a punter.
Did not know that.
I did not know that.
He was a punter, and then they converted him to a safety. Now he's become one of the best safeties in the league.
Yeah.
6 Pro Bowls, 5 All-Pros.
And he came in as a punter.
Yes. So
was he the backup punter too at that time?
Well, I don't know. No, I don't think he ever did because he was always on the field.
Yeah.
He was always on the field, so he can't, put him as a backup because of, his responsibilities in defense. We roasted him yesterday. It was a lot of fun. A lot of guys showed up. A lot of people showed up.
Yeah.
And I try to invite some of the old guys that don't come back to Kansas City often. Mm-hmm. So Dan Selamore was there, if you remember that name.
Oh, yeah.
Irv Eatman, my offensive lineman, a tackle. He lives in San Antonio. He came back. Barry Ward came back.
Did Alt come back?
Huh?
Did Alt come back?
Alt didn't come back because his son. He's
How
busy.
cool is that?
Yeah, no kidding.
He's busy celebrating.
I got to know this.
Yeah.
Was John Alt a beast back in the day?
Yes, he was.
Did you love running behind him?
Of course.
There's no doubt.
Hey, John Alt is like a 6'7", 6'8" monster.
Monster.
You know what I'm saying? When he was in college, he played offense too. You know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played like a tight end or something like that, and somehow in high school, I believe he was a quarterback too.
Really?
So he was an athlete.
That's a big quarterback right there.
Yeah, he was an athlete. Wow. You see? So now his son is taking after him.
His son's 6'8", too.
He's big dude.
Unbelievable.
I saw him, I was like, wow.
Yeah, he's got a bright future ahead of him.
I've always heard about him, but I never saw him in person or on TV. And I saw him when he was drafted. I was like, wow, this guy's going to be something.
Yeah, I wish he wasn't in our division, but
you think about some of these guys that got drafted this weekend, right? But then you look at these men that played in the 80s, late 80s and in the mid 90s. Like, let's call a spade. You were not a small running back.
No,
right?
I wasn't.
What were you, 260?
I was 265, yeah.
How tall are you, 6 foot? 6'1"?
I'm 6'2".
A 6'2"?
Yeah, well, I shrunk a little bit now. I had a back surgery, 3 back surgeries, so I shrunk a bit.
And what was your 40 back then?
4.44.
That's
ran a 4.4.
Freaking wild, dude.
Yeah.
That's 6'2", 265.
Yeah.
Well, no wonder they wanted you to play football.
Yeah,
what in the world?
Yeah.
So you didn't start playing football till you were 23. Is that right?
No. This is how it happened. When I graduated from high school in Nigeria, I worked for a couple of years before I came here for college. And when I came out here, the reason why I came out was because there was an Olympic going on in 1984. So I came over in '82, and just to train for the Olympics. And I was training. I was right on target. But Nigeria didn't take me to the Olympics. I was heavily disappointed. I decided, okay, I'm going to play football. And the only reason why I wanted to play football was because throughout the time from the first year I got to Azusa in California, which is my college, my friends there have been trying to convince me to play football. I didn't know anything about football, so I hated football. I didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to be near it. As a matter of fact, one time a friend of mine says, let's go and see a football game. I thought he was talking about soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
So we got there, and these guys were coming out to warm up, and I'm looking at them. I said, what is this? These guys are huge. He said, no, they're wearing pads. I said, what kind of pads? He says, yeah, they're wearing pads for protection. I said, okay. He says, well, just watch. And I'm watching. And these guys are warming up, and the game started, right? And I noticed, the offense and defense, of course, now I know it's offense and defense. They just circle together and seem like they're whispering something to each other.
Yeah.
And then they line up, and boom, they collide. And then whistle blows. It stops. I said, why is it stopping? What's going on? I thought it was like soccer. The game keeps going.
Yeah.
And so because of that, it was boring to me. I told my friend, I said, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
And we left, and I never saw a football game until I decided to play. And when I walked into my college football head coach's office, and I asked him, Jim Mahon, I said, Coach, I want to play football. He looked at me, he says, okay, what position do you want to play? I didn't know any position.
Yeah.
But I remember...
You just want that ball.
Yeah.
Give me the ball.
Well, I remember earlier that year, Washington Redskins played against the Raiders in the Super Bowl. So they were showing the MVP, who was Marcus Allen. They showed one run that he had, 76 yards.
Yep.
He reversed the field and scored a touchdown, right? So at the time, I didn't know who he was. And I said, Coach, I saw this highlight on TV. Who was that? He says, oh, that was Marcus Allen. And it was a running back position. I said, okay, I want to be a running back.
Yeah, hell yeah.
How cool is that?
That's how I became a running back.
That is so cool. And so, all right, so first season you get in there, right? You're in college, get fitted for your pads and helmet. Tell me about, you remember the first snap still?
Was it like a little bit of a learning curve, or did you just kind of jump right in and?
No, I didn't know what I was doing. I just jumped in there, and I was watching some of the guys who played running back position at the time, just kind of like following their footsteps, But I just tried to do everything they did.
Yeah.
You see, and I just kept learning, and there wasn't a time where they sat me down and tried to teach me something on the board or anything like that. I just learned as I went.
Yeah.
And people ask me today, would you rather have gone to like a bigger school like USC, UCLA or something like that? I said, no, because going to Azusa, a small Christian school, NAIA school, allowed me the opportunity to learn the game the way I learned it, because the coaches there were very patient. If I had gone to a bigger school, I don't think coaches over there will have the patience to teach me football or wait for me to learn football. You see, so, but at Azusa, I was able to jump in there and play right away, even though I was making a bunch of mistakes.
Right.
Of course, I never played any sport where there are plays to be called, telling you do this and do that. You got to be here, and this is your responsibility, and so on and so forth. But in football, that's how it was, and I had to learn that. So a bunch of mistakes were made on my part, but as you know, when you make mistakes, that's how you learn.
Right.
So
And you can't teach 260 and running a 4.4. That doesn't hurt.
Yeah, you can't teach that.
That does not hurt.
You can't teach size and speed.
Can you imagine some middle linebacker from, most likely a smaller school in California, right?
Yeah.
And Christian's got the ball coming up the middle at 6'6", 250 in college, running full speed.
So were there a lot of teams looking at you when you went into the draft?
Well, yeah. Well, this is how it happened. Of course, I played my first year. I hated the game when I was playing. I hated it because I went to bed with bumps and bruises. I couldn't sleep well, and I went to the coach. I said, Coach, I don't want to play anymore. This game is crazy. I don't want to play. He says, well, you're doing good. You improve it every day. Why don't you give it like 1 week?
Yeah.
If you don't like it in 1 week, you can quit, right? So 1 week came and passed, and I went back again. I said, I don't want to play anymore. He says, well, you improved a lot. Did you see what you did, this and that, And I gave it another week. The year went past. I said, okay, I'm done. Next year came around, and teammates would tell you got to come back. You got to come back. You do so well. So I went back. I played my second year and graduated from college. And I said, okay, I'm done. Then a writer from LA Times came, interviewed me. He says, you should go back and play 1 more year because you improved so much. You might be able to go and try out in the NFL.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. I played my final year, my third year, which is my 5th year in college. And I improved so much that when Senior Bowl, you guys know about Senior Bowl, right?
Oh, yeah.
In Alabama, Mobile, Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
Paul Palmer, if you remember that name.
Okay.
Paul Palmer from Temple.
From Temple?
Yeah, he was runner-up in the Heisman.
Okay.
Gotcha.
At the time. Paul Palmer dropped off in playing the Senior Bowl because it's big time, right?
Right.
So they called me and asked me if I was interested in playing. That was a week before. Luckily, I was always in shape. I'm a track and field guy.
Right.
I'm always running, lifting weights, and just staying in shape all the time. So when they called me, I said, yes, I'd like to go. So I went, and that changed my life over there because I got over there, and in the game, I was offensive player of the game. I scored 4 touchdowns, which is a record and still a record.
Still a record.
Yeah.
Really? Well, there was probably a lot of people that hadn't seen you yet. Coming from an NAIA school.
I know.
You're not, like you said, you're not coming from a USC or UCLA.
Yeah.
Where you've got the spotlight on you.
Yeah, but the thing is that I never played against some of the big guys over there that I played against in the Senior Bowl. Because playing the NAIA, I was bigger than most of my linemen.
Right.
And the guys that are playing linebacker position across from me, they're little guys.
Right.
You see? So playing against these guys is like...
A little different.
Yeah, it's a little different, yeah. So I had to get used to it, you see. So, but luckily enough, I scored 4 touchdowns, and all the teams started coming to Azusa to see me. And I was working out for teams every single day, and teams were coming back again and again just to make sure everything they got on me is right.
Yeah.
You see? And the Chiefs came back 4 times.
Really?
Yeah, they came back 4 times. So eventually they drafted me in the second round.
Yep, second round. Can you imagine, not even getting a call for the Senior Bowl 1 week to the game? They call you up and say, hey, we're going to need you. Yeah. And all of a sudden he gets offensive MVP, scores 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I'm glad you played that last season in college.
Yeah, I know.
That's
I
so
know.
cool,
If it wasn't for that, man, I wouldn't be here.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Obviously had an unbelievable Hall of Fame career here in Kansas City. You've seen a lot of different, sides of Kansas City, from when you played, and, we went through a little bit of a drought here, and then now we're at the top of the podium. What do you have to say to Chiefs Nation? I mean, they love you, man.
I love them back.
I
love them back. I tell you, this is the best place to be. Kansas City is the best place to play football. I'm telling you, because right from the start, right when I got here, the Kansas City just took me in as one of theirs.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed it tremendously. I tell you, I don't live here. The only reason why I don't live here is because of the cold.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Coming from Nigeria, I'm used to the warmth and humidity and all that stuff. But when it comes to winter, You know.
And you said you're in Southern California still, right?
Yes, I'm in Southern California, but I'm in Kansas City like every month, twice a month. I'm here right now. I come back next weekend and the following weekend. So I do a lot over here.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it here. I love the people here.
You get a chance to, talk. You still meet with the team, obviously. You probably get a chance to interact with those guys.
Yeah, I talk to them once in a while.
Do you see
not often?
Do you see a lot of correlation with just the way the locker room was back in the '90s to where the locker room is today? Do you feel like those cats are still as close?
It's different.
Yeah,
it's different. I don't know why that is. A lot of people will say because of the money now.
Yeah.
When some people are making 20 million and then you see the other guy making
league minimum. Yeah,
minimum,
750,000.
Yeah, so it's a big change,
Yeah.
So it's not like it used to be. When I played, we were all together. We were a team.
Yeah.
And,
well, you didn't have social media either in those days.
No, we didn't. But these guys here with the Chiefs, they are together too.
Yes.
And I like the way Andy Reid is handling all of them.
Yeah, we just had Justin Reid on the show just about a month ago.
Yeah.
And he was kind of talking about how he played for the Texans in Houston.
Yeah.
And there really wasn't much of a brotherhood there.
Yeah.
And then coming to the Chiefs, it was just a lot different. The guys were hanging out and doing stuff, outside the locker room, and just more of a brotherhood.
Yeah, it's different here in Kansas City. It's different, even with the ambassadors, which I'm a part of. We do a lot of charity work in Kansas City area. You don't see that in other league cities.
Right.
You see, so it's really different here. So the organization in Kansas City is just doing a tremendous amount of work.
Now I got to know this. Was it this season or last season that you were the drum leader?
Yeah.
I think
baby.
it was this last season, right?
Yeah.
And I believe Tamba Ali was a couple games right after you,
Yes.
or right before you.
Yeah.
And both of you damn near broke that drum. I mean, when you go up there and you got a hold of that mallet, do you just want to throw it through that canvas?
Well, they tell you to hit it as hard as you can. You will not break it.
I know.
That's what they told me.
That's what I've heard.
They said just slam it and you're not going to break it. I said, okay. So we're just banging on it.
Dude, I'm telling you, it looks like he's pile driving fence posts with this mallet.
But I gotta tell you a little story though. I don't know if you remember one time Chiefs went to London and played over there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it was a home game for us.
Did you make the trip?
I made the trip. Yeah, I was there. It was a home game for us. We played against Detroit Lions.
Yep.
And so they had me beat the drum over there. The only problem was that the drum was fake.
Oh no.
So they just asked me to fake. In the beginning, they didn't tell me that. So I thought it was real. So they gave me the mallet or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to bang it like I banged it over here a few times.
Yeah.
And the head came off. the head came off, and she told me, she said, just keep hitting it. Just fake it.
There's got to be a video out there somewhere, isn't there?
I said,
We gotta find that.
We got to find that footage.
So she told me, she says, just fake it. So I faked it.
Listen,
I love that.
International NFL Association, if you plan on having the Chiefs back as a home team and the Nigerian Nightmare is going to bang the drum, you need to bring the real
Bring
deal.
a stronger mallet, baby.
That's right. But that thing is huge, though. That drum is big.
It's massive.
Yeah, it is. So I don't know how they can fit it in there.
It's just, you see those guys up there and they're tapping it. And
Yeah.
you and Tomba are just up there mashing on this
just
thing.
ripping
Smash
it.
it. They tell you, beat it. You're not going to break it. Just hit it.
Just go. I love it.
So I did.
So do you have a ring? Did the Chiefs give you a ring?
Yeah, of course. I
Yeah.
got two.
I
and
figured
the
they
third
did.
The third one is coming. So
I love it.
Yeah.
That is so cool that they do that.
Yeah.
You know?
It is very cool. I mean, I don't see any other team that does that.
Right.
I don't know if the Patriots will do that for their former players.
Right.
Sometimes they just forget the former players. But Kansas City hasn't forgotten the former players yet because we do a lot of work in the city,
That's
of
right.
course, as ambassadors. So, yeah.
And I think that's important, obviously not only for you guys. I played at Kansas State. Bill Snyder always talks about the foundation that happened back in 1989, right?
Yeah.
The greatest turnaround in college football history. And it didn't matter if you played in 89 or you played last year, you're still part of that interfraternal group of guys.
Yeah.
Because it is important, right? It's important because as times change, to remember where you came from.
That's right. That's right. It's very important for the older players to come back, former players to be around.
Yep.
So in case if the current players will have any questions, they can ask. So I remember when I was playing, all the older players will come around a lot.
Right.
Tom Condon, Ted McKnight, and all those guys, Bobby Bell, they will always come around. So I love seeing them walk through the locker room, and then, of course, you read about their history,
Yep.
and I learned a lot.
Kansas City's market too. You get teams in New York and Texas. Those states have 2, 1, 2, 3 teams, right?
Yeah.
This is the only team really in almost 5, 6 states. Pretty close.
Yeah, the Rams are gone now in St. Louis, and
Yeah. And so this is what people focus on.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pressure there too, right?
That's a lot of pressure, but a lot of luxury too. Knowing that okay, you are the only one. You know what I'm saying? So you have to perform to keep your fan base.
So I know we're running out of time here, but we got to ask you, with the whole buzz going on with the stadium, right?
We'd say, I've been reading about it and I've been studying it, looking at it. I can understand the fans voting the thing down because I heard some guy come on TV one time and said, well, you pay this money to a billionaire to make more money or something like that, and then I can't even afford to go to the game. I understand that because the price of tickets are so high now.
Yeah.
Not everybody can afford that. I mean, a family of 4 can't continuously go to the game.
Right, and then it's a $15 beer.
Yeah. Well, it's more than that now, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, soft drinks are so expensive. Beer is so expensive, and hot dogs and stuff like that. So, if you take your family to go to a game, be prepared to spend about 4 or 5 hours at the stadium. You got to eat.
You got to eat.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
you
right.
Gotta eat. You're going to park your car. You pay $60 to park your car, buy tickets, buy food. I mean, it's expensive.
Yeah.
And the family of 4 can't do that on a regular basis.
Right.
So I can understand that. But we still need the Chiefs in the Arrowhead Stadium.
Got to have them in Arrowhead.
Couldn't agree more.
I'm
know
with
what
you,
saying?
man.
We still need the Chiefs over there. So,
Do you think they'll get it done?
I mean, I'm sure they're working on something. I hear about Kansas wanting the Chiefs to come over there. That won't be the same.
I agree with you.
It's not going to be the same. I mean, Chiefs need to stay in the Arrowhead Stadium.
It's that home field advantage, man.
That's right.
I mean, you look at all these other stadiums; they're getting smaller. Granted, they're nice and they've got the flash. I'm not coming to an amusement park, folks. I'm trying to come to a stadium where we have the upper hand.
That's right.
Like you said.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you go to Las Vegas, Raiders Stadium right now, man, they have a concert during the game.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell?
You're not even there to watch the game.
I mean, what the hell?
There ain't nothing to watch.
There's nothing fancy over at Arrowhead, baby. We're watching good football. You know what I mean?
I know. So that's why they're losing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Well, I just went to Jerry's World for the first time, and half the people are just watching the game on the
Jumbotron.
because of how big it is. I mean, Jerry wants to make money. That's why he's not concentrating on football.
That's right.
This team is just losing. Every time they get into the playoffs, they lose in the first round.
Yep.
But with Arrowhead Stadium and the Chiefs and Clark Hunt doing what he's doing, Andy Reid, I mean, they got everything going. So I hope they stay at the Arrowhead Stadium.
Yeah.
Let's hope they update those locker rooms too.
Right.
Pretty soon.
I had a guy tell me, they're like,
Did you see that Xavier Worthy meme or whatever it was? It was showing him the locker room at Texas compared to the locker room at the Chiefs. How much of a downgrade it was.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Well, he will make more money.
Yeah, he will. Make a lot more money.
Yeah. So forget how nice.
Yeah, who gives a crap about that?
Forget how nice you want your locker room to be.
Yeah.
Just go play football. You don't live there.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Arrowhead Stadium's locker room is much nicer today than it was when I played. It's a big improvement. So I don't see them changing anything. I don't want them to change anything. You don't sleep there.
Right.
So it's one of those things where people will talk about and, brag about, but you don't need bragging about the locker room. Brag on football games,
Show them 3 rings.
That's right.
That's right.
I had a buddy of mine, he's a Raiders fan. He's like, man, our new stadium is so nice. we have these urinals and these toilets. They flush themselves, and the toilets actually clean the toilet seat every time you get up. I said,
how many
"That's
wins do you
fine.
have?"
I'll piss in a trough and be part of a Super Bowl organization. How about that?
Maybe they can break that mechanism on the field and let that win games for them.
That's right. That's exactly right.
If you want to have toilets that flush themselves, bring that to your house. You can use that all day.
Yeah. Did you catch much of the draft?
Yeah, I watched the first day, and that was it.
Yeah. What do you think about this Xavier Worthy guy? He looks pretty impressive.
Looks impressive, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm really excited, because when Tyreek Hill left, everybody thought Kansas City Chiefs is not going to do anything anymore. 2 Super Bowls later.
We've done okay.
2 Super Bowls later, you know what I'm saying? So if we get somebody like him, look out. We got him now. We got Rashid, and we got Hollywood. We got 3 big-time receivers now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really excited.
And this new tight end from TCU that's coming in too. I mean, that guy's a stud now.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
We have 3 good tight ends now and 3 great wide receivers.
Yeah. I mean, we won the Super Bowl last year, and I think our team's only better now than it was
It's better.
last year.
Yeah, it's better. I don't know if you remember when Tyreek Hill was on the team. Every time Chiefs want to score, boom, we scored.
Yep.
And that kind of downgraded our defense because our defense was on the field a lot.
And we didn't have that deep threat,
Well, yeah, if you have your defense on the field a lot, they're not going to be very good.
No.
You see what I'm saying? But when you use your offense as a defense, when your offense stay on the field a little longer, your defense gets some rest. When they come in on the field, they perform.
That's right.
You see, so that's what happened this last year.
3.5 yards of play, you'll win the game.
They had fresh legs, man.
Fresh legs, yeah.
Makes a big difference.
That's right. Huge.
Well, we appreciate you very much. First, we got to give some shout-outs.
Okay.
Shout-outs to Macadoodles, okay? They're one of our sponsors.
You ever going to a Macadoodles?
No.
Wine and spirits?
No.
Not a bad.
I've heard about it.
Not a bad place. There's one here in Lee Summit. You go in there, get yourself some free popcorn, free bags of ice.
Okay.
Great selection.
A selection that
That's cool.
It's unbelievable.
Right.
Huge shout out to Red Door Grill.
Red Door Grill.
Josh, appreciate you.
Red Door is pretty good.
It's so
Yes, it
good.
is.
Red Door is pretty good.
Great
I've been
food.
There. I've been there. Yeah. Awesome.
Do you know their beef is all locally sourced? It's all fed and processed.
I didn't know
1 hour
that.
south of here at Herzog Meat Company.
I didn't know that. They work together. They work well with the ambassadors. So I love those guys.
And here's a little teaser. If you go to the Lee Summit location, the Huddle Podcast has their own beer on tap
Wow.
As of today.
It's
called the Huddle Hefeweizen.
So,
Okay.
so go get you one
Okay.
next time you're at Red Door.
All right.
And last but not least, shout out to iTap.
International Tap House.
Right here.
Home of the Huddle Podcast.
There you go.
Right here in downtown Lee Summit.
That's right.
They have 9,000 beers on tap.
Okay. That's cool.
Something like that.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of
Hey,
beer.
listen, every episode it changes how many beers they have on tap. No one really knows, but it's a shit ton.
It's a lot of beer.
That's awesome. You got to have your beer, right?
You gotta have your beers.
We enjoy it.
That's right. That's right.
Anything you want to say when we wrap this up?
Well, yeah, I like to say I just came out with a book, Nigerian Nightmare book, November 7th.
Okay.
So it's on sale now.
Where can we find it?
2 places. You go on Amazon, type in Nigerian Nightmare, it will pop up. Or you go to my website. If you want to get a copy signed by me, you can go to my website, christianokoye.com. You can get a copy there.
We're gonna put
Love
that
it.
link.
Tell us about the book. Is it kind of a
It's just my
just about your
story.
life?
My life, everything that I've gone through, everything that, all the blessings that I've had in my life, people that helped me, and how I think things should be. People always ask me if you have to live your life over again, would you change anything? I wouldn't change anything. I was born poor. Somebody helped me out of Nigeria. I'm trying to help as many kids as I can. So
I love
that's
it.
Awesome.
That's what life is all
Good
about.
for you, man.
Yes.
Christian, thank you, sir.
Pleasure.
Thank
Guys,
you.
give it up for him.
Thank you.